on the section where it talks about the hitting there, I have a bunch of different drills, but I just want to talk about some of the basic things. I love getting my Baseball Express every month, and in it, you open to the back, and there's about 500 different hitting products. And do you really need those for practice? You know, you bring out, you have all these different tools and things like that. You don't really need any of that stuff. I kind of chuckle because I think that everything that those products do, you can do without. So I'm going to try to show you a couple different drills that you can do at practice. And like Dave said, you can always have kids doing something. And even if it's all hitting all the time, you can have them doing a bunch of different things. Usually the way I like to instruct hitting is from the bottom up. So one of the first drills that I teach with these guys or with the young guys when I do the clinic for the, over in the water tower, start off with feet. All right, so I always encourage hitters to make sure they are stepping directly at, either starting in the middle or stepping directly at the pitcher. So a couple ways to do that, and I mentioned this last year, you can go down to the foul line and just have everybody line up just real quick and work on getting what I call hitting position. Get your hands back ready to go and get your foot down. Even, you know, every drill here can extend into something bigger. So if we're working on a tee, think about getting the hitting position, get your foot down, stepping right by the pitcher, then go right off the tee. Or if you're doing soft toss, get the hitting position, stop, check yourself, make sure you're all right, and go. Right? Everything you can do is very, very basic. And I think a lot of times we try to over-coach hitting, even for 9, 12, 14-year-olds, when a lot of times the basic parts of hitting are most overlooked. Some of our guys here, even Major League Baseball players, you'll see them, they'll start off with all these different crazy stances. But when it comes down to it, as the pitch is coming to them, they all get to the exact same position, which is hands back, foot down, just about ready to swing. So another drill that I like to do, and now is where if you have like a piece of 2x6 lumber laying around, maybe a little 4-foot piece, if you bring it out to practice, you can hit on it. Right? And it's kind of like hitting on a balance beam. And what it does, and that's the main point, starting from the bottom up, is being balanced when we hit. It's amazing to see, even with our varsity guys, when we're hitting off of the board, and when they're on the floor, they're hitting the ball really well, but then you put them up on the balance board, and they're swinging, and they can't stay on it for whatever reason. So what that tells us is that since you were 8 years old, or whenever you started, all the way up until now, you've been able to get away with it because usually at that level, JV, freshman, modified, whatever, the pitching is they're just trying to throw strikes. But as we get older, the balance is a really important focus. So if you're starting off with someone who is, whether it's 5 years old or 15 years old, we want to start from the bottom and make sure we're stepping straight, make sure we are balanced, all right, and not stepping in, and not falling out, all right, but everything is nice and level. So now that we've got a good base and we're stepping straight, we got to make sure everything's level and we're not falling over. So what are some drills we can do for that? Well, one drill that I like to do is actually